Okay, welcome to another missions Q&A live stream. I'm your host, Brian, as it's been. Uh, but yeah, today we will be talking about the Way and the Word School, which is a new school that we are pioneering this September. And since it's now just about like a month and a half left before the school, we want to just chat about all the different questions that you guys may have if you are inquiring about the school or not. Hopefully, I'll try my best to ask these guys questions that will be very beneficial. So that's the plan for today. We'll chat about that, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a good conversation, and hopefully it'll be helpful. Um, so firstly, the way and the word. What is that? What is this school?
What are we doing? Well, the Way and the Word as a whole is a combination of two of our sort of main secondary schools that we've run here at our campus. Obviously, there's lots of things in YWAM that you can do, but we have traditionally focused on Bible and leadership. Those are the two schools we run. So Way and the Word is the hopefully perfect intermixing of um, those two schools and those two qualities coming together hopefully perfectly. We'll figure it out. We're pioneering, so but yeah, that's the hope.
Okay, great. I also forgot to get you guys to introduce yourselves.
Okay.
So who are you? Why do I have you and you specifically here?
My name's Katie. I'm our training director and helped sort of pull these programs together, but all of the behind-the-scenes work is happening with Justin and the staff team to really make them work well together. But I hopefully have been able to draw some of the pieces from both the schools and give some direction of how we think this is going to work well to serve the students who can come learn both about the Bible and about leadership together in one program.
Mm-hmm.
Katie's being modest. She's done a lot of work in making these schools come together. But I'm Justin. I'm the school leader. I led our Bible schools when we were just running them solo, and so I'm one half of the main leadership for the school. The other one cannot be on this live stream, so he's around. If you join the school, you get to meet him.
You're a good representative.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so I thought it would be good to pull these two guys, specifically as Katie, as the training director, has really been sort of the vision pioneer behind the school, and then Justin will actually be running the school.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll get to get their insights about it. So firstly, Katie then, why as a training director did you feel that this school needed to exist?
Yeah, needed. I think our desire always is that for any program that we run, we want it to serve the students. We can have wonderful, great ideas about excellent programs with wonderful content that usually does find even a niche demographic, but the idea is that for our DTS students and DTS graduates specifically, if they're going to come back and continue to get training, we want what we offer them to serve our main vision, which is mobilizing young people to the unreached. And so to have an introductory Bible overview school alongside a leadership school, traditionally and in the past they've been two separate programs. So you take one at a time, usually for 12 weeks. You get to focus on the Bible, and then you take a break or maybe jump right back in to 12 weeks of leadership, sometimes longer. Some leadership schools have been 24 weeks. But as we were looking at our sort of program calendar, the rhythms of the school with DTS being 6 months, I just started asking what would it look like if we ran them together, like next to each other, and then what would it look like if we ran them together with students participating in both aspects of both programs, with aspects both of Bible and leadership, but like Justin said, hopefully working together, because again, ideally your biblical worldview is informing your leadership, and we can learn leadership principles from especially Jesus, and among other resources, with really practical application, meeting good biblical teaching. And the idea then is to serve DTS graduates who want to go maybe move overseas. That's one of our visions, like I said, mobilizing young people to the unreached. So this won't be the only thing you need to move overseas, but hopefully it's a good foundation. As well as people who maybe feel called to do ministry back home or are just unsure what they want to do. This is an environment that we can continue as a community to be disciples together and to help provide this space of learning and personal development, leadership development, biblical knowledge acquisition. And at the end of it's about a 7-month program. At the end of the 7 months, you'll have continued skill set, but also you as a person hopefully have grown. It's always up to the people how much we grow and our response, but that's the short version of how it came about. Our 2 programs that were working well separate, but how could we integrate them to create one program that would give sort of multidisciplinary learning to our DTS grads.
That's cool. So then, how do you think it might... So you talk about how you do the Bible separately and then leadership separately, but then now in this school we're going to do it together. So how do you find that might improve upon maybe the education or the training?
That's a good question. Justin can speak more to this because he's genuinely been working on the assignments. But the strength of the leadership school, there's many strengths, was the application, getting to see lots of different ministries in our community, outreach opportunities. And the strength of the Bible school was the really sort of intense study. And so taking the study strength of our Bible school and the application strength of the leadership school and working the assignments together so that they really are building off of each other while the students are doing it at the same time.
Yeah, I think specifically highlighting that application of what you're learning through what was our leadership school was great. But it was something that the DBS struggled with at times because it is, when it's 12 weeks, you're just reading the Bible, you're getting lecture, and then you're doing homework, and there's not a ton of space for the practical application. Whereas when we combine it with some of the leadership lectures that we're going to have and the practical ministries that people will get to lead, hopefully that gives people a chance over a longer period of time to actually invest some thought and effort into taking the things they're reading in the Bible, the things that they've been commanded to do, whatever it may be, and actually putting that into practice in their life. And I think it's pretty easy to see how the Bible benefits anyone. So it's like, why not add the Bible to our leadership school? It's such a foundational piece of how we do what we do as Christians. So we should know the Bible to be a good leader. So it makes sense to add it to the advanced school.
Okay, nice. That's good. So now the school is then called The Way and the Word, which I would assume, the way is kind of the leadership stuff, the Word is the Bible stuff. But beyond that, was there any specific reasonings for why you guys chose that title in particular?
We were talking about having to come up with a title for this new school, and we threw out some pretty bad options in the office.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly what they were, and it was just wordplay, I think, at first. And the word being the Bible is a common way to refer to the Bible, and we said that one out loud. I remember thinking, I don't hate it, and then it sort of grew on me, and it does really encapsulate the way, of course, being Jesus, and that we're meant to, both as Christians, follow the way of who he is, and then also participate in what God has invited us to do, and know it by his word, also being Jesus. So I think it was both, it was maybe a little less of our creativity and maybe the Lord speaking, and it really just landed well.
Yeah, it just stuck. I think because we had so many missed titles, I think the alliteration, just the way it encapsulated what we hope to be the heart of the program, was like, okay, let's run with that. And who knows, maybe if we were more creative people, it'd be a little different, but yeah, we liked what that brought.
Yeah, the only thing about it I find is in YWAM typically everything is acronyms. So it's like, how do you do an acronym with this one?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard many different acronym attempts for this one. We don't have a good one though.
No, not yet.
Double W.
Yeah.
That's it doesn't really work well. something.
We're open to suggestions.
Yeah, it's the first school, so if you students are coming, then you guys can maybe make the thing happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, we welcome any creativity,
Yeah.
any input.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, well then let's get into more of the curriculum, what that might actually then look like. So let's first talk about the Bible portion. And I've heard Justin say that you guys don't want to make it so distinct, right? You don't want to make it necessarily feel as though the Bible and the leadership portions are just completely two distinct things happening, but that they correspond to each other. But regardless, in terms of the Bible, what can the prospective students or people that are interested in the school expect to learn?
Yeah. I think one of the things that DBS as itself does well is it gets you into the whole Bible, and not in the way of you're just reading it for the sake of reading it, but because it's done in community, you actually have the chance to discuss and take things out of it and deepen your knowledge while you're reading instead of just going back and trying to pull out things later. So what we do for some of our small group times is read together out loud. We make it through the whole Bible by the end of the school, which when it's in 12 weeks sounds somewhat crazy. Over 7 months, it's going to be a nice, like, we can get deep with some of the books, some of the chapters. But then on top of that, the heart of DBS is really seeing the story of the Bible from a bit of that 30,000-foot view, and really understanding what God started in the beginning of time and how it played out through to Revelation, which we haven't seen the fulfillment of yet, but we know that there is a plan in place. So hopefully we'll be able to see that story sort of build each and every week. And some of the homework that we have for the school will reflect that and push people towards drawing some of that out. But I think the two biggest things are reading the whole Bible, learning from speakers about the whole Bible, and then seeing the story really play out.
So that kind of overarching narrative and that story is what they'll really get by the end of the school in terms of the Bible.
Yes. Yeah. And I think one of the things that really connects well with the leadership school that is a benefit of the way we're running it this time is one of the things we strive to do in DBS is actually practice sharing the word with others, whether it's through the final presentation or through the Bible studies we do. Even weekly, there's an expectation to share what you've learned so far with someone else. I think doing it this way will give people both the skills that they need to share better, while also giving them more opportunities to share with DTS students who are alongside them, or even in the ministries that they'll be taking part in outside of our space and our campus. So some of that practical, actually, like applying it and sharing it, and hopefully reaching other people with the gospel as well.
That's good. That's good. I think that gives really good, context and understanding to what they can try to expect in terms of the Bible. In terms of the leadership parts, I think sometimes when we just say leadership, it can be, people can have a lot of different interpretations of what that means. Of, hey, you're gonna learn to be a leader. Okay, what does that mean? Right? And so is there any particular, like when you guys say you're gonna develop your leadership skills, what do you guys mean by that?
So Justin mentioning that this is a combination of the Discipleship Bible School and then a school called the School of Ministry Development, SOMD. So they already exist. We haven't made a new school, but the way we're integrating them is this new program. So the SOMD is actually intentionally broad in its outcomes for each campus to really make it its own in YWAM. So you could do the DBS or the SOMD in other places. What we're hopefully creating is a unique expression of that here, where both it's the combination and then with our focus on the unreached. Currently in our location in Linden, we have specific ministry opportunities that are unique to Bellingham, a partnership that we have with the farm, that we want to invite people to not only be growing in their leadership, but to be part of our specific community. So for the leadership aspect, ideally, hopefully, we have created it in a way that as the students come and start to discover not just their leadership skills but passions, that we can give them opportunities to follow unique curriculum paths. For example, we've had students in the past who are really interested in working with the deaf community, so they took an ASL, thank you, an ASL class, because they were looking into another country that had a very specific sign language for that country. So they took an ASL class, and then we're exploring other sign languages of other countries. And that wasn't part of the curriculum everyone did, but something that they specifically wanted to participate in. We've had students in the past come to pioneer a campus, and so a big part of the curriculum was to support them in what they would need to pioneer a new YWAM location. So what I can say that everyone will get basic leadership principles like conflict resolution, how to manage your time, how to manage a classroom, community engagement, public speaking. Often it's not just here's how you do it, it's really the opportunity to practice, the opportunity to try, and the opportunity to learn from areas that maybe you didn't do very well, and get feedback when you do a really good job. So I think the biggest win is both the curriculum of leadership skills, but also the opportunity to really develop some of maybe your personal calling and desires during the school.
That's good. But so then your two examples was students that are coming with a pretty specific goal, right? It's like, oh, I know that I'm going to go pioneer another YWAM base, or I know that I want to work with the deaf community in this specific country. What about for students that may not necessarily have a specific goal that they have? Is this school still right for them, or yeah?
Great question.
That's a great question. To answer this, we'll go back all the way to my leadership school that I did 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever it was. Slightly different way we ran it, but the idea was the same. When I chose to do that, I had no idea what I was going to do long term. I did not think I'd be in YWAM like I am now, and so I did it as a way to grow some of just those leadership gifts and learn a little bit about what I wanted to do. And for me, that ended up translating into God called me to stay in YWAM, and I've been here ever since, using those principles here. But I believe that even if I had gone home after that, or if I had gone to school, if I had moved overseas, it still would have been just as valuable. So I think no matter who you are, no matter what you're thinking of doing, even if you don't know what you're thinking of doing, the principles, the practice, the application is going to be valuable no matter where you go. I think it's, one of the reasons I have done as well as I have in YWAM is because I took that time just to learn. And it's a lower pressure environment. It's not, you're not immediately jumping into leading a base. You can learn.
You don't have to do that.
You can learn a little bit ahead of time. And it's gonna grow those practical skills that anyone will use regardless of where they're at. Even if you're just working at a Denny's, you'll still need some of that leadership ability, I'm sure.
Okay, good. So then, is there any? Because I'm curious if you guys have this like the ideal student that would really benefit out of the school the most. Do you have some sort of that picture, as well as? Is there a particular sort of person or however that you feel like just wouldn't, that the school wouldn't serve? Obviously, these are a little harder questions to think about.
I'd say benefit really is a bit more about posture. So being willing to learn feels like a low bar, but if you're willing to learn and want to come and grow, we want to meet you with maybe what your hopes are and what you're intending to get out of the school. If you just graduated DTS, this is also hopefully a great next step. It's designed to be approachable, to be accessible. So it's meant to catch a wide enough, hopefully, variety of people that after you graduate a DTS, even if you've been a few years graduated, and you'd like to see what it's like to live in community with YWAM again, you'd like, again, further training in the Bible and leadership, that would be the kind of person that we're looking for. I also did a leadership school within the first year of joining staff, which was some time ago, about a decade ago. And it was foundational for the friendships I made and for the things I learned about myself, about how I see the world and where I needed to grow in not just leadership. I think sometimes we say it because leadership's a good thing to do, but even just being a good follower, being a good team member. Like sometimes people call it self-leadership, but really being a good community member, that's just not as fun of a school title. The community membership school. But really it's that idea that Jesus shows us what it is to be a servant leader, and we hope that we can also reflect who God is in the world and be people that can be servants. And sometimes that's bearing the kind of responsibility of leading a department or a school. But yeah, in any thing that you're going to do next, you'll have some sort of responsibility. So we want this school to be a time where you can learn about yourself and gain some of those skills to navigate what could be next in your early 20s. So that's the person I think it's aimed at. DTS grad, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. I don't want anyone to not feel like they can come.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of the things might not be the most helpful to someone who's retired. Or
sure, yeah. There's a limit.
Yeah, who's maybe been working a job for 30 years and naturally has grown some of that experience. Yeah. But hey, there's always going to be new stuff to learn. Yeah. So it's tough to put a cap on who it could be for.
Well, yeah, because the question just helps. It's not necessarily about, hey, if you don't fit this ideal student, you're not welcome. It's just that this is like where our like bullseye is, or this is where our goal is. And even if you're on the out fringes or whatever, if God is speaking to you to do this school, then like that's what we do, right? Yeah. So like, I mean, for example, I just did a Bible school last year, and I've already had been studying the Bible, and so as I was taking the school, I didn't really feel as though I was the primary audience for the school itself, right? However, like, it still benefited me a whole ton, right? Because just spending time in the Bible is awesome. Right? And so in that similar sense, I think that's what I'm trying to get at, this question of like, what can students expect as they're coming to the school that we are aimed at?
Yeah. And I think, like Katie said, the DTS grad, the early 20s, still unsure or maybe have an idea, but have some space to figure it out and to figure out exactly how you approach the thing you feel God calling you to. I think someone like that's going to find a lot of value in this school, because like we were talking about, the hope is to be able to meet people where they're at and help them step into the things that God's calling them to. Because it's one of the benefits that YWAM gives that sometimes you don't get other places, is we can be so flexible to really benefit each person, where some programs don't have that same capability. So someone who wants to figure stuff out or has an idea and needs to know how to get there, we're here for you.
I think that is something that's really cool about this, right? Is that there's 7 months of that flexibility that you guys are talking about, of hey, as you're here and as you're developing and as you're thinking and processing with God, are there desires that's coming up? Are there goals that's coming up? And if there are, the curriculum is flexible enough for us to actually facilitate that, right? And work towards those goals. I think that's really niche and special, right? Because a lot of times courses, they just have the objectives, and you're just going to follow the objectives. Every single person, whether there be 10 students or 100 students, they're all going to do that same thing. Whereas here, what you guys are saying is that it's going to be a little bit more diversified, right? And adjusted according to the individual. I think that's really cool. Okay, so hopefully that helps with what the curriculum might kind of look like. Then now more practically, what would like a typical week look like for the student then?
Yeah. The way we have it set up right now is sort of a alternating week schedule so that each week you know what to expect, but it's not the exact same thing every week. The general overview, to not get super niche and specific about all the details, is 1 week will be Bible reading focused alongside leadership training and practical ministry time, where we're either working with a ministry or visiting a ministry and seeing how they do things, paired with some time to do homework and catch up on assignments and all of that. And then the next week would be the Bible focused training, and again, more ministries, more homework time, but hopefully that same ability to be practicing things, be learning about the Bible, be doing assignments that get you toward better leadership, better biblical understanding, and hopefully to the place you want to be. So those alternating back and forth weeks should give some diversity while still being similar enough that you can get into a rhythm and take all that out.
That's good. So what would you say the workload, the expectation of a workload should be? Like, is it like it's going to be like super hardcore, you're working all the time sort of school? Is it more on the lax end? Yeah.
It's not going to be DTS, just to warn you all. I think
it's going to be even more lax.
Oh, no.
We're not going to do anything, guys.
Hanging out.
We're just here, chilling. No. I think that is the step that happens after DTS is typically I'd say probably most secondary schools have a bit heavier of a workload than the DTS does. So for this school, it will be a bit more work than the DTS. You'll have more homework assignments. You'll have more responsibility towards either a specific ministry that we do or towards how you disciple even other students in this community. I don't think with how we've laid out the homework that it'll be overwhelming, but it'll definitely be a noticeable step to a little bit more work, a little bit more maybe academic rigor, you could say, though obviously we're not a university, so it'll be like
We are a university.
Yeah, but we don't look like a university.
We are a kind of university
Yeah.
that is creating space for all kinds of learning.
Yes. So definitely more rigorous.
Yeah.
A little bit more work to do, but also you have time to do homework during the day sometimes, which is not something you get during DTS.
That's true. And in addition to the weekly content and classroom time, we also have worship and intercession. We also have small groups. There's church that happens, and then there's campus activities that the students will participate in, the normal campus rhythms that we have. And you will get university credit for this with our UofN, University of the Nations. So if you are looking at maybe a different university or a different college, consider this program at a sort of associate's degree level. Maybe first or second year of uni would be the level of content that we're aiming at and hoping that you would engage with.
That's good. I think that's quite helpful. What do you guys think would be the most challenging aspect of the school, if there is? So, like for, my Bible school that I did last year, the School of Biblical Studies, I would say that the most challenging aspect was just the amount of homework that we just had to get done.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily like the homework itself was necessarily like challenging. It was just the time commitment was the most challenging portion. For this school, is there anything that they should kind of think about as the most challenging portion?
That's a good question.
It won't be as much homework as the school you're talking about, but again, there's pros and cons to both, so we're not trying to take a stand on either. I think the most challenging will be for each student managing the time, because there's always fun things to do. There's always people you want to hang out with, and the sort of dedication that will be required to sit down and do your homework. Hopefully encouraged by your peers who are also doing their homework. But I would say the school leaders have worked really hard to make the homework accessible and applicable so that it feels like it really is leading you towards the outcomes of the whole program. So hopefully that means I love school. I think school is fun. So hopefully that means there's fun involved, and as the students are being developed, as we're all growing together, and the students specifically in this course are growing in this intentional 7-month program, that one of the muscles I could foresee being stretched is just the time management and managing of your resources and getting the homework done. But the staff I know are committed to the students and making sure that if it were to be there's an unforeseen challenge, that we would want to work to find success for everyone.
Yeah, and I think hopefully it's not a thing that is a challenge to people, but it is definitely a step up in responsibility, I would say, for this school. I think sometimes DTS, it's just like, we're just being given everything. Like we're taking all this stuff in, and it's like such a fun season. And I think during this school, there'll be a bit more of like, okay, yes, we want to have fun, but also you got to be responsible for how you present yourself to the DTS students, how you lead a certain thing. And so we're hopefully always growing, and maybe this is a season of growing in some of that maturity and even depth of how you carry yourself and how you engage with the things that are in front of you.
So there will be that kind of level of responsibility and assertiveness that they will have to kind of portray in this school.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It's a leadership school.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to keep growing.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't think we discussed this, so let's just, this is a very practical one. How much is the school?
Good question.
Very good question. It's $1,000 a month.
$1,000
As easy as that.
Yep.
I believe $7,000 total. So you can think of it being end of September through the very end of April, just about 7 months, and $1,000 a month, 7,000 total.
Okay, cool.
So practically, you'll make a $1,000 payment before you arrive, and you'll have 6 more after. 1 month at a time. We wanted to build in that structure so that it felt maybe more long-term sustainable. That it was something that instead of you could continue to fundraise, and part of the leadership school is fundraising. As in missions, it's a big part of what we continue to do. So we want to support students as they fundraise, and rather than maybe upfront $7,000, spreading it out so that hopefully it's a bit more achievable, a little bit easier to spread out. And that includes everything that you got in the DTS: food and housing, curriculum, not including flights to get here, but everything you'll need while you're here.
Yeah, that's good. And is there going to be so that's the 7 months for the lecture. Will there be any outreach for the school or not?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. If people want to do it.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
So there's going to be a potential for an
Yeah.
outreach.
We're planning for it. It's a bit different than the DTS in that it's not part of the full package, but we'd really like for it to be. So again, we've had all sorts of iterations of what an outreach looks like off of this school. One of our past ones went to a few different countries because the students wanted to move there. So we sent them to the countries that each of them wanted to move to explore ministry opportunities. We've sent teams to one country specifically, and really hopefully it's to curate continued learning for the students that are actually here in the program.
Okay, that's good. Then in terms of someone that's thinking of coming, just real practical, any advice or things that they need to think about for packing?
It's a longer program. It's over several seasons, though it's Washington, so a lot of those seasons will be rain.
Yeah.
But I think, just prepare for the winter, for the spring, and if you're want to go on outreach, prepare for probably some warmer weather. It's probably more of a range than you had to think about for DTS.
Yeah.
But otherwise, very similar to DTS packing.
Yeah, we luckily have options around here. So if you pack what you think you need and then discover you need something else, there's thrift stores. There's also affordable stores like Walmart and Target that a lot of us also find good clothes at.
Yeah.
So
we're not in the boonies here.
No, we have access to to stores, I would say, yeah, a good raincoat and a good pair of boots, actually, in the PNW up here.
Waterproof shoes are great.
Yeah, or waterproof shoes, even sneakers. So, because we, as much as we can, like to be outside. The sort of joke is there's no bad weather, just bad clothes. So, even in the cooler, rainier seasons, we still want to enjoy the PNW.
Okay, so there's no any niche thing that they need to be thinking about for packing. It's most basic things.
Yeah. And maybe a set of clothes you can get dirty, like work clothes.
Right.
But
Yeah. Or if you really like getting outdoors, you can think of hiking stuff. There'll be free time throughout the school. I don't think we have any set, like today we are going to go on this 3-mile hike, but there's always opportunity for that. So you can think ahead if that's something you enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a PNW, so.
If you don't enjoy
Yeah.
it, you can bring your nice, comfortable PJs.
Yeah, your hammock, you can read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Any other practical things you guys can think about that would be helpful for them?
There is a Christmas break, and because it'll change every year, I would say just get in contact with us to know those exact dates, but we do have that built in.
That's good. How many weeks is it
I believe
around?
it's 3 weeks.
I want to say yes also.
Okay.
But that, yeah.
I believe it's 2 weeks in December and 1 week in January.
Yes,
is the full break.
that seems right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perhaps with a couple buffer days. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. No.
Something like that.
Okay.
The calendar changes, obviously, as the Christmas date changes each year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know, to expect. There's that like 2-3 week break.
Yep.
So you could stay here if you'd like, but you can also go home.
I'm sure your families would
Yeah.
appreciate having you home for Christmas.
Depends on how far away you
Yeah.
live. But yeah. Any other practical things you guys can think of? Before I ask my final question.
Bring something you can take notes with easily. Most people nowadays, that's a laptop.
Right, that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
Should they pack a laptop or do they need a laptop actually?
Technically, no. I would encourage you, if you have a laptop, an iPad, something to do your homework digitally is always easiest. Typically, we use Google Classroom for turning in assignments, so that just makes it easy. But you can do that all by hand and then send pictures or hand it to staff. Digital is just always easier, but we can make do without it if needed.
Right. So encouraged but not necessary.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think most people just find that the easiest way to do homework and to take notes and all the things.
That's good.
If you did not do DTS with us, but you did it somewhere else, you might not know that you can drive here. So feel free. We've had many students drive from the East Coast. We've had students
trek.
drive, from Mexico. So if you'd like to have your car here, it's a great option, especially to be living here for 7 months. It's nice to have a way to get around.
Yeah, because the USA does not do good public transport.
No, I know.
It's
we
not
really-
Canada.
It's it's not. You're right.
It's also not the East Coast.
Yeah, or Europe. We just
Is
don't.
the East Coast better? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
We
Yeah.
just
better.
don't do good. Amtrak's fun, actually.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
a-
not like something you do
No,
every day.
No, it's not public transport. That's a complete side note, but to take
Yeah.
the Amtrak on a trip was fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so bring your car if you'd like.
Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if there's too much that you need to know about other than if you have specific questions about our campus or the area, even more specific questions about what the program elements actually look like, feel free to reach out to us. Give us a call, send us an email. All of our contact information is on our website.
We also did design this. Well, part of my hope was to help people who are looking for degrees in the UofN. So that's going to be more specifically people who are aware of what they need. So if that is you, reach out to us. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Talk about maybe what you have, what you're looking for, and see if this really is a good fit, and maybe point you in the right direction after this of what you could do to finish that degree.
Yeah, because a lot of the components of the school will really contribute towards a degree at the UofN. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. Well, I think those are all the questions. Besides, just your final heart piece, your final word, as the students are thinking about coming, or as maybe somebody's debating or getting excited. It could even be for people that are confirmed. Do you have any final words of encouragement as we have about 40 days left?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
In perpetuity, in video.
What is your final word, Katie?
Yeah, and you get no more words after
No,
this.
you did already. You did prep us with this question though. So.
Yeah.
I think unless you're ready.
Go for it.
The best part about what we get to do is living in community. The best part about what we get to do as followers of Jesus is do it with other people. And at the same time, we find the most tension with other people. And really, the hardest work that we'll engage with, one of the hardest works that we'll engage with is knowing ourselves well enough to know when our response is from a place of pain or immaturity. And we hope, we're not perfect, but we hope as a community we can be people that see that and make space for the growth for all of us. For us as staff, when maybe I didn't say something very nice, or say it in a very kind way, that my fellow staff members can meet me there and say, you're better than that, right? And so I think as a community we just hope that we and intend to create a space where we're all disciples of Jesus and we're all learning together. And I do really commend the staff. They've put a lot of effort into making this a good program. So this is a time where you get to learn more about yourself and you get to be in a community of people who all love Jesus, and we're doing our best. And we just want to see you set up for whatever the next season is after this. You could stay, that could be the next season, or like we said, sending you to the field or into ministry or into university. We really want this season to be a place where you can know yourself more, you can grow, you can love God more, be seen by other people and known, and encouraged into what's next.
It's good.
I think I would echo that. That was what I was thinking. That last bit, specifically the fact that this school, as we've been planning it, as we've been thinking about it, just has so much potential for everyone involved. Obviously, potential for the school itself to grow, but I think of the potential for each student. That through this season, through the time that's committed for learning, for practicing, for being willing to be maybe confronted and convicted and grow, there's just so much that God can do through that. And I don't know exactly how things will play out. I don't know exactly where a student will end up at the end of this school, but I have so much faith that it will be a major step toward that thing, toward that calling, towards that goal. And we just get the joy of being a part of it. We don't get to be the end all be all, but I think we have a lot to offer. We have a lot of really amazing staff and speakers and hopefully assignments that I think it's going to be a pretty impactful season for anyone who takes the step and says yes. And regardless of where you want to go, there is something here for you, something in this program. And I think the heart for all of us is to see that peace brought out and to see that that spark maybe cultivated into a flame. I'm excited for even some of the unknown that we can't see yet, because the school is so open and flexible and has the opportunity to really benefit each individual where they need to be. So that's what I'm most excited for, and the thing that I hope encourages you to do this, because we can say it's good, but until you actually do it and put in the work, you're missing out. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and it's the places of risk that God can really meet us, right? And I think that's what's fun about flexible options, is there's that flexibility to take risks with God, and that's when He meets us. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for your time, Justin and Katie. Thank you guys for watching, and just if you have more questions about the way and the word, now you know his face, so just reach out to this guy. Uh, yeah, if you reach out to our contact, phone number, email, then it most likely will be Justin answering anyways. So,
Yep.
It's true.
It is.
so yeah, reach out to us. We'd love to talk, and yeah, if you guys are in for it, we'll see you in like 42 days, 44 days, I think
Whoa.
exactly.
I think so.
Yeah. So,
Exciting.
alrighty.